Hi, this is Anne with my ELED 3042 video, of my teaching video. I did want to tell you, in class, obviously I'm not doing it in class, we had two new students and we did not, Miss Armstead did not receive their permission slip forms to be on pictures, videos, anything like that, any media. So she suggested it'd be better if I just did it from home. So here I am. I loved my placement. It was really fun. I'm going to be telling you about the lesson, my first lesson of my unit that I did. It was really fun. Now you'll notice that it doesn't have any math in it. The way she had her set up, it was just easier for me to just teach math separately and social studies separately. So instead of actually teaching one lesson a day and doing social studies sprinkled with math or math sprinkled with social studies, I actually taught both, which I really liked and really enjoyed it. Cypress Point is a really cool school. I kind of see now why ULM on campus students go there for elementary education. It's really fun and I really enjoyed it. I'm sorry, the background is my boyfriend taking a shower. He just got off work. Okay, so, first of all, I do believe I wrote it in my reflection, but, the biggest thing for me was Class Dojo. It really helped get everything, like, on the roll. That was the only really big problem I had in the classroom. I felt like I was spending more time on classroom management than actually teaching the lesson. And then once she didn't have Class Dojo, and I talked to her about it and told her how I did my classroom management on it in one of my curriculum classes, and how I've heard good things about it. And she was excited for me to do it, so I actually developed one for her classroom. And they actually have Dojo now where you can have it on your phone or a tablet or whatever, and the classroom has iPads. So I had one iPad that had excuse me, Dojo logged in on it, and then she put me as a teacher on there. So I had it on my phone, and I still do, and she had it on her phone. And yeah, they have it an app now, so you can do everything on there. You can invite the teachers to see, you can post pictures, videos, all kinds of things. So it was really fun. But once I got that developed and the kids kind of realized how it worked, it was way easier for me to manage the classroom, especially coming in as not their first teacher. It's me coming in as like a second teacher that's not there as much as their first teacher. It helped me a lot. But this will be my social studies for first grade. The social studies lessons are about 45 minutes. Sometimes they'll run longer, sometimes they'll run shorter. It just depends. And then actually this one is kind of mixed in with the ELA because it's based off of a book called Lucia's Neighborhood. It's in their school book. And it's not really a story. It's more like just informational text about a girl, and it just shows pictures of her different places in her neighborhood. Like at the bakery, shows her walking down the street past construction, shows her a library, a pet shop, things like that. But it's so our thing is about community helpers, and throughout the week we'll go into our actual community, and and today we'll go over our neighborhoods, and I have some copies of some of the neighborhoods that that we did. Sorry. So for the overview, this lesson will teach the students about jobs and industries that can be found within the school and community and how they benefit from it. So, oh yes, but the book that we read, Lucia's Neighborhood, they learn about labeling things, which is actually kind of goes with math, because in math we taught them about number bonds and how you had to label your number bonds. So they learned what a label was and how to put one on things and things like that, and they have to put them on their test. There's a part on their test where they can either draw a picture. If they draw a picture, they have to label. Now, if they don't draw a picture, then they have to write a complete sentence. So it's kind of their choice, but they know how to do a label, so it's up to them. So one of the learning outcomes is they'll learn what a label is and how to correctly write labels on maps, and also using a legend. So all that goes hand in hand. Lucia's neighborhood's really short. The first day, which is this day, we read it to the class, and then the days after that, we'll take turns with each group reading a page, and sometimes we'll read it as a class and then have partner reads and things like that in ELA. So in this one, we read it. We talked about what kind of story it was. It was fantasy, informational text, and why they thought it was what. And it was informational text. And then we discussed the different community helpers that we found in the story. And then we go on to review. And we'll just go a little bit more in depth in Lucia's neighborhood. We'll go back to the pictures and, we'll ask what is that, the head, on the picture of the bakery, where it says bakery, what is that? And then, it's a label. And then, that's one of the questions I put on here for the review. How do we know where Lucia was? What in the book helped us find this information? And then, okay, so here's two of my papers. I'll just show it to you before I start talking about what we did next. This is one copy. The other copy had the map of these, of what they were, that we had on the board. So, but I didn't give it to the students, so that's why I didn't print it out. But we then we went into talking about what's in our neighborhood. So like some things that wasn't in Lucia's neighborhood, they would say, like, Lucia's neighborhood didn't talk about hospital, so we talked about hospitals. Some kids said the university, which is ULM. Some kids said doctor offices, toy stores, all these kind of stores that are in the neighborhood around us, parks, zoos, all of that. So, and then we go on, and these are what's in every school. Every neighborhood, roughly. It's your school, your house, your fire stations, your post office, your police station, your library, your hospital. And what they did here was, these that were on another piece of paper, they cut them out and glued them to where they thought they should go. And then down here, they wrote they glued them again and wrote what they were. So, and that shows one kid's handwriting. So we did that, and I really enjoyed this lesson. To be honest, I didn't think I would enjoy social studies as much as I did, because I've always been a math person. I've always loved math, but it was it was nice. And then we have another one we did. We did this one. This one, we just gave them this piece of paper, which is a copy of it, so it's not in color. And then we just wrote what they were. And these are their roads for them. And then they just got to draw on there. This is actually my instructional board, which I think I turned in for your class. It was based off my neighborhood map. My neighborhood map that I did. So it actually went with this. And then they could just draw, like for his, he put Firehouse, he put Walmart, ULM, Mall, Dollar Tree, his house, and then somewhere else that I can't really read. But we did that, and it was really fun. And then, let's see, I'm sorry. I was going to go over, because me and her went over together what the evaluation. So as I was doing it, she was doing it, and then when we had a free moment, I do believe during lunch, we talked about it and why she gave me the grade she gave me. So I just want to talk about that as well, since I'm not doing it in the class and you won't be able to see that as well. For the lesson connections to past and future learning, she gave me a 3 on that, and that was just for the 3 points are for outcomes reflect a clear connection to past and future learning in the discipline. And that was just, since it was Monday, we could have talked a little bit more in depth about the neighborhoods and differently like that, and then had it more leading up to what we learned the next day. And then the differentiation in evidence in planning. Let's see, everything else I got a 4 in. Shammy. The quality of questions. I could have had a little bit more questions for the students, and had them a little bit more involved than just, let's read the story, read it together. You know, it was more involving. Discussion techniques, I think that goes along with that. And then students engaged. I felt like they were engaged a pretty good bit, but there were different activities that I could have done where they would have been more engaged. And then that was the only 3s that I got. The rest of them she gave me 4s on. Again, I really enjoyed this class a lot, and I didn't want to exit out of that. I was happy that I got to do it. So there's my video.